Alright, y'all, in today's video, we're going to be going over Molmo, which is a 7 billion parameter and 72 billion parameter multi-model, which beats GPT-4o and beats Claude Sonnet 3.5. So I'm going to show you guys how to deploy the model and start inferencing the model on a serverless platform. We're also going to demo it on their website. Okay, so here are the benchmarks on Molmo, which is an open source multi-model, and it does very well compared to GPT-4o and Sonnet 3.5. So as you can see, the 72 billion parameter model beats GPT-4o. The human ELO is slightly below that, but it does beat Claude. And the 7 billion parameter D is the one that they're demoing, and that's the one that we're going to be using today. So there are some very cool things that it can do. It has grounding capabilities, so if you ask it to point out an object inside of the image, it can do that, and it will give you the bounding boxes, and all you have to do is just render it, and it will show the point on there. And it is pretty accurate. I'm going to show you guys today how you guys are going to be able to set it up on Modal and host it yourself, as well as render those points on the image, so you can see the bounding boxes that it returns. So one of the biggest things is their high quality data set called PixMo. And as they say, data quality wins over quantity. And it's always about high quality data because garbage in, garbage out. All right, so this is their website. The links will be below in my Patreon. So what we need to do is upload an image. So we're going to ask it to point to the noses. So this is a great thing about Molmo is the grounding capabilities. And this is great for a lot of applications such as web agents or robotics where it needs to be able to understand where things are in the real world. So you get the eyes. Let's ask it about the ears. Yep. And let's say the tongue. Oops. Yep, gets it right. It says there are none because it can't fully see it. Because it could have put it right here, and then this one, maybe nothing. But it does pass the vibe check, so. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get this hosted on Modal, so that way you guys can inference it yourselves. Alright, so I'm going to walk you guys through this code. So what we're doing here is we're going to be deploying this on an A100 GPU with 40 gigabytes of VRAM. We got the model ID right here, the model revision, and this is going to be the name of the app on Model. And we're going to attach a volume to it. And we're going to install these packages. And then over here, we're going to create the image. We have the timeout set up. We have the container idle timeout, which is 2 minutes. And then the number of concurrent inputs, which will be 100. Over here, we're going to initialize the model. It's going to download it for the first time. And then we're going to save it. And then we can load the model from volume. This just speeds things up a little bit because you only pay for what you use when you use Modal because it's a serverless GPU platform. So they bill you to the second. So when it starts running on the GPU is when they start billing you. And if you have, let's say you send a request in and then 2 minutes later you send another request in. Well, it's going to take roughly like 30 seconds or so for the model to get loaded back up on the GPU and everything to get spun up. But if you send a bunch of requests back to back, then you'll see how like they go through within a couple of seconds. And I'll show you guys that as well. And over here, we're creating a web endpoint, so then that way we can generate the response. We pass in the image URL and the prompt. And then over here, we process it and generate the output. And then we get the result. So, and then over here, we have our inference code. And this URL will be provided from the deployment output. So I'll show you guys that when we deploy. And the prompt right here. And then the image. And just makes a basic request. And then over here, it plots the points for us on the image. And this is part of the grounding capabilities I was talking about that it has. So let's get this thing running. So to deploy the model, all you have to do is run modal deploy main.py. And then we'll see it all run through and work. And then we'll get this deployment URL. So you're going to take your deployment URL, you're going to put that right here, and then you're just going to run python inference.py. And we're going to go over oh, I used the wrong link. That's why. I have to use this link right here. Alright, now we'll go over to Modal and I'll show you guys what's running on their end. Since the container's already running, it should run pretty fast. We're going to have it point to the eyes and the nose. And over here we can see it pending. Oh, looks like the container probably wasn't started up, probably shut down. So now you see like we have to wait about 30 seconds or so. All right, there we go. We got a response. You can see the eyes and the nose with the points. And over here, you can see the generated text. All right, I just want to show you guys some of the logs. So you can see when it starts up that it takes about 30 seconds, and then the execution time is a little bit less. But once it starts going, it starts executing pretty quickly. And depending on how many points it needs to render out, or how much information is going to depend on the execution time as well. So, because it's all about that token count. The nice thing about Modal is that it is serverless. So you only pay for what you use. And when the GPU is running, like you can see right now, it's not running anymore, so I'm not paying. Alright y'all, thank you guys for watching. I'll have all the source code below in my Patreon. If you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.